From 5 to 0, no command in the universe can prevent the computer from fulfilling its destruct orders.
15 seconds.
I command the computer. Mine is the final command.
10, 9, 8, 7.
This is the program that gives your business a technological edge in the 21st century. It's The Edge of the Web with your host, Aaron Sparks.
Oh, I'm a big Trek fan. I love that. That's fantastic. All right. I tell you what, we're going to go right into the big news of this week. And we're actually dedicating a good portion of our show about this. Google changed part of its algorithm this week on, I think, the 24th or the 25th. And it's big news. Google changes how it measures websites on a somewhat regular basis. Mm-hmm. And they change it, and it usually has an impact on search results that we get. Sometimes it's a big impact, sometimes it's a small impact. This one was a web spam update. It was codenamed Penguin, although the name of Titanic was actually being tossed around because it was a pretty big impact on a lot of sites. Well, they say that it only affected 3%, but there's some chatter that this was much bigger than they anticipated. Okay, what is web spam? All right, getting into it, what sites are affected. Now, we're going to get into a lot of references, and these references are going to be on our website, both on Edge of the Web as well as Site Strategics. By the way, you're talking to Aaron Sparks and John Thompson from Site Strategics. Hi, John.
Hey.
Hey. Web spam is basically the sites that we're talking about are sites that break Google's guidelines, and we're going to have that link on our site as well. Basically, sites that participate in link schemes. Okay, we've always talked about inbound marketing, and one of the factors of search engine optimization is actually having other websites that are not on your server, that you don't own, that are linking to your domain. And there's a relevance factor that actually gets passed over to your website. The more sites that are actually in your genre of information, that they pass an authority juice, basically, to your website.
Yeah. And the thing is, we've all ran across these pages before. Mm-hmm. I mean, you've gone to a page where they've stuffed keywords, or it's a malicious Trojan or virus that's in that web page. Right. Obviously, those are bad. None of us want them.
Right.
But the problem is Google you can't cover everything with one broad stroke.
Yeah. And one of the major factors here are these link schemes that are lots of different pages linking back to your page. Or a link scheme of reciprocal linking, where they trade links back and forth. That looks manufactured. That looks not natural. A natural link is a link without a reciprocation going to a particular domain because somebody on a blog said, "Hey, this is a great site." Mm-hmm. You know, freeway link networks where you buy into networks. Three-way links where you triangulate. I link to you, you link to my other website. Google knows who owns these websites, and they did a big old smackdown on these type of link pools. You know, anything that has unrelated links, random anchor text that's inside content. I mean, and it's just linking out to a site that has no relevancy. I don't know even what you're talking about on the page. Okay, sites that do keyword stuffing, they're adding a lot of keywords, and this is old hat stuff. This is stuff that 5 or 7 years ago was being practiced to try to game the search engine system.
Right.
It's not good practice at all. And more importantly, if you see that being done, if you have a vendor that actually has been doing these type of things, you need to call them to the carpet and say, "Hey, why your page needs to make sense." And if you see so much repetition of a particular keyword, or you see a block of content at the bottom of a page, those things are what they've actually they're penalizing for. Basically, the over optimization of a website. We knew about this over optimization update. It was back in March 17th when Matt Cutts, who's part of the Google team, actually told that there was an over optimization penalization process coming forward, and this is when it hit. Any type of article spinning. Now, pay attention here. You may have hired a company that actually puts content on your website that is spun from an affiliate network, right? That means that they put it into a particular piece of software, and it gets kind of mashed up, so it's not the exact same string of content that is from the original article, but it's still good, relevant content. May not make incredibly good sense, but it's still good content in there. Those things are the way the dinosaur. If you have had that done before, get them off your system. But that's what they're regularly looking for. And on top of everything else, duplicate content. If you have duplicate meta content, duplicate pages, more importantly, they're penalizing for that as well. You may not even know that you've got duplicate content, and that's something that we here at Site Strategics can tell you very, very quickly just by some of the tools that we've got. Give a diagnostic of your website. Well, we got some tips on how to avoid these penalties. Okay, one, you may not even know that you have been subject to this penalization. Okay, you need to go to your provider, or you have a rank tracking program that can actually show you your regular positions. Right. You need to see if you've had any substantial drop in your organic positions that you've been tracking. It's a little bit after the game. If you come to us and say, okay, where was I? We still have tools to be able to see where you were recently. But here are some tips that can give you compliance perspective here. All right, avoid any hidden text or hidden links. Don't hide text, or don't make the text the same color as the background, right? Don't use any cloaking or any sneaky redirects. Don't send automated queries to Google. For example, if you're trying to submit your website to Google, all right, do it manually. Don't do it with a piece of software. Google knows it, and you're actually breaking the terms of service. Don't load pages with irrelevant words. Don't stuff information in there that has nothing to do with what you're actually talking about. Don't create multiple pages or subdomains or domains with substantially duplicate content. That's what we were talking about before. You may have actually set up some other websites that pulled some of the same content that you had from your primary website. Get that off, because you truly need to have your own website with your own original content. Any type of duplications, any type of subdomains, you're getting penalized for. Okay? Of course, don't create any pages with malicious behavior, such as phishing or installing viruses. But also, don't create doorway pages. Avoid that. The pages that are just created for search engines. If your site participates in any type of affiliate program, make sure that the site adds value. Provide unique and relevant content. Don't copy the affiliate's content and put it on your own website. You must be original. You must have that additional value.
What's amazing to me is, keyword stuffing, it's old news to us. Yep. It shouldn't have been done 3 years ago. We knew about it. But it's so surprising to see how many other people that encourage and think that that's the way to do it. Just keyword stuff or spam this, and it's not going to work.
No.
You're gonna end up wasting time and money getting your page there. It might show up for a month, but it's gone after a while. I guarantee it.
Absolutely, and those are flash in the pans, and that's what Google's trying to do is another smackdown to stop the gamers. There was a while back an update that everybody that was using a particular company that was doing a blogging service, and they were paying their people $20 per blog entry to create a unique link back over to the particular website. It was all on a big network that was pretty low-grade content. And they were even making their own blogs to be able to facilitate this entire thing. It was a big black hat scam as opposed to white hat. And any company that actually hired that company disappeared from the rankings, literally. They were maybe in the top 10. They went down to like 170. I mean, it was that bad. So, I mean, there are some companies that have actually suffered quite dramatically from this for this change. But I wanted to give some basic principles that Google actually says you should practice whenever you're developing your website. And very similar to what we were talking about. Don't make pages that are primarily for users, not for search engines. Okay, don't deceive your users or present different content to the search engines than you display to your users. Avoid tricks intended to improve search engine rankings. A good rule of thumb is whether you feel comfortable explaining what you've done to a website that competes with you. Another useful test is to ask, does this help my users? What do I do if search engines didn't exist? Right? Oh my gosh, that's a very strange concept for me. But I mean, if you're writing content for users, it's going to be organic, it's going to flow well, and the engines are going to lap it up. Okay? Don't participate in leak schemes designed to increase your site's ranking, like we're talking about, and don't use unauthorized computer programs to submit pages. Okay? There's a fresh list of losers that have suffered from this Google update. It comes from Search Metrics. They compared a huge set of keywords, fathead, medium, and long tail keywords, compared these results, this recent, to the results of April 20th. Comcast has dropped 49% in their search visibility.
One thing to touch on this is obviously, we've shown you all the things that you shouldn't do, but there are people that are getting hurt from this that shouldn't be hurt. And in that case, Matt Cutts, representative from Google, has provided a form for you to submit your site.
That's right.
If you think it has been, unrightfully chosen.
That's
and
right.
also, there's a form to submit sites if you think they should be penalized.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're actually going to have those links to those forms on edgeofthewebradio.com and Site Strategics. We're going to be talking more about our next cylinder of internet marketing. If you guys have any questions about the Google update, give us a call. Our number is 866-440-1430. You can find us at Edge of the Web Radio. Talk to you real soon. You're on News Talk 1430, WXNT. You're on Edge of the Web Radio.